What would happen if the whole world stopped for just one moment? In Keeping Quiet, Pablo Neruda asks humanity to pause, reflect, and rediscover peace. Welcome, class. I am so glad you're here. Let's dive right into this beautiful explainer of this profound poem. Today, we're going to explore this masterpiece with a warm, reflective mindset, and we'll be paying very close attention to exactly what you need to know for your CBSE Class 12 board exams. Just imagine the Earth slowing down for a second. The busy, noisy city becoming completely silent, the engines turning off, and the clock stopping right at 12. You know, in our modern world, everyone is in such a mad rush to do, to compete, to succeed, and we often completely ignore our own health and the world around us. Here, Neruda is gently asking us to just pause. Before we get into the heart of the lesson, please take a quick second to subscribe to the ACE Archive for simple CBSE English explanations and board exam preparation. Okay, here is our lesson plan for today, starting with an introduction to the poet, then the core themes, a stanza-by-stanza explanation, important literary devices, a quick CBSE revision, and finally, our concluding thoughts. Section 1, Introduction and the Poet. So who is the brilliant mind behind these verses? Pablo Neruda is actually the pen name of Neftali Ricardo Reyes Basalualto, who was born in Parral, Chile. He won the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1971, which is absolutely incredible. He's deeply celebrated for using very simple, easily understood images to create a profound feeling of mutual understanding among all human beings. His poetry constantly advocates for peace, humanity, and our essential connection to nature. Section 2, Core Themes and Message. Now, what is the central heart of this poem? It all comes down to this one anchor concept: introspection. This is the absolute core of Neruda's message. Introspection is the act of self-analysis, reflection, and soul-searching. He's asking us to step away from our mechanical, monotonous routines. We are so busy keeping our lives moving that we never really stop to understand ourselves. Introspection is the cure for that emptiness. My dear students, please note down these 4 key words for your exam answers: peace, silence, self-reflection, and universal brotherhood. They perfectly summarize why pausing is so necessary. By finding a quiet corner and keeping still, both physically and mentally, we can dissolve our differences and unite as one single human family. Section 3, Stanza-by-stanza explanation. Let's decode the poem itself. The poet begins by acting as a guide for us. He instructs, "Now we will count to 12, and we will all keep still." He's asking us to sit still without activity and, most importantly, to abandon language. Why? Because language, unfortunately, often creates barriers of caste, creed, culture, and religion. Silence, on the other hand, leads to love, tranquility, and brotherhood. Notice how counting to 12 is highly symbolic here. It isn't just a random number. It represents the 12 hours on a clock, the 12 months of the year, or even the 12 zodiac signs. It signifies the entirety of our time and the cyclical nature of the world. By counting to 12, Neruda is pulling all of humanity and all of time into this one single moment of stillness. In this beautiful, exotic moment of sudden strangeness, where all the engines and the rushing have just stopped, mankind will pause its thoughtless, selfish activities. We are so constantly involved in the mad rush for livelihood that we end up causing harm. But in this silence, the fishermen in the cold sea would finally stop harming the whales. This brilliantly illustrates 2 huge benefits of temporary silence. On one hand, it helps the fishermen realize the miserable state of the environment and the animals we exploit. On the other hand, it allows the endlessly toiling salt gatherer to finally stop, look at his hurt hands, and care for his own physical pain. We literally have to stop to heal the earth and to heal ourselves. Neruda then shifts his focus to those in power, speaking neutrally about the destructive nature of mankind's greed. He talks about wars with gas and wars with fire, destroying lives and polluting the air. He highlights a really tragic irony here: a victory with no survivors. Because a victory where no one is left alive to celebrate is utterly, completely meaningless. You'll want to remember the term green wars. It's a powerful metaphor for our continuous assault on nature. It symbolizes deforestation, environmental degradation, overfishing, and the destruction of our beautiful earth. It's a war against the very environment that sustains us. But if we keep quiet, the people who prepare these wars would instead put on clean clothes and walk about with their brothers in the shade, doing nothing. Now, here is a crucial distinction to remember for your board exams. Please, never confuse Neruda's silence with total inactivity or death. He explicitly says he wants no truck with death. Total inactivity means the end of life, shedding all responsibilities. Introspection just means a temporary calmness to cleanse our conscience, understand ourselves, and stop this single-minded obsession that only brings sadness. Our humble Mother Earth is the greatest teacher of all. Think about the changing seasons. During a harsh winter, everything seems completely dead, frozen, and still. But underneath that apparent stillness, the Earth is quietly nurturing life. Later, it blossoms into a vibrant spring. Life quietly sustains itself even when there is total silence. Section 4. Important literary devices. Let's look at the technical breakdown. First is synecdoche. This is a figure of speech where a part represents the whole. When Neruda says not move our arms so much, he uses this brilliantly. Arms refers to the physical arms of the human body, urging us to sit still. But arms also means ammunition, guns, and destructive weapons of war. He wants us to put down both. Next is personification. When he writes, "For once on the face of the earth is imagined to have a human face." By personifying the earth this way, the poet makes our connection to nature feel deeply intimate, immediate, and wonderfully human. It reminds us that the earth is a living entity we must respect. Section 5. Quick CBSE revision. Let's lock this knowledge in. Go ahead and take a screenshot of this review matrix right now. It perfectly condenses everything you need for top marks. The theme is the necessity of introspection. The tone is calm and philosophical. The core message is to stop rushing so silence can foster peace. And your major symbols are the number 12, the earth as a teacher of rebirth, and the salt gatherer representing endless human toil. Ultimately, Neruda teaches us this profound, timeless truth. Silence is not weakness. If we can just stop our single-minded rush to keep our lives moving, a huge silence might finally interrupt the profound human sadness of never truly understanding ourselves or the world we live in. Before we part ways today, ask yourself, what could you discover about your own life if you chose to keep quiet for just 1 minute today? Thank you so much for joining this peaceful classroom explainer. Please subscribe to the ACE archive so we can continue learning together. Take a deep breath, keep calm, and I wish you the absolute best on your board exams.